Mesh, and welcome to the CBS 6 News at 7 o'clock. A major update from police on the Mechanicville tragedy, but it's an update that's still leaving many wondering why this happened and many struggling to make sense of all of this. Mechanicville Police Chief William Rabbit confirming that the mother of 4 children and their grandmother were the ones to plot their deaths and carry out this unthinkable act. Tom Bosco reports.
Police say Amy Stedman and her daughter, Sarah Myers, were plotting to kill the children and themselves as early as June 5th. Investigators found electronic messages between the two discussing how to do it, what drugs to use, and how to avoid suspicion. The chief says the women used over-the-counter sleep aids to poison the kids on June 10th. Those electronic messages also revealing that once the process began, the kids were aware of what was going on. 10-year-old Joycelynn using her iPad to message her mother.
Investigators also recovered a message from Joycelynn that began, quote, "Why would you do that? You both won't let me puke," unquote, before describing increasing pain in her stomach.
Those messages also show the women in a panic.
Late that morning, as the children failed to respond in the manner Stedman and Myers had anticipated, one of the messages stated, quote, "It's not working. We need another option," end quote. Those communications are important because they document far more than planning. They show that Stedman and Myers were communicating and coordinating while the murders were taking place.
One of the children, 10-year-old Gavin, was stabbed to death with a knife and even had defensive wounds showing he tried to stop the attack. One question on everyone's mind: why did this happen? The chief says there was a note signed by the grandmother, Amy Stedman, and writings found as well from Sarah Myers.
And the author repeatedly referred to, quote, "my babies," end quote, expressed anger towards the Utah family court system, made allegations that she and the children had been abused while living in Utah. Amy Stedman and Sarah Myers consistently portrayed these murders as a way of protecting the children. Whatever they believe justified their actions, the deliberate murder of 4 children cannot be described as protection.
Police Chief William Rabbit says what happened here in June will never be forgotten.
I also want to acknowledge how deeply this tragedy has affected our city. The loss of 6 lives, including 4 children, has touched every corner of this community.
That was Tom Bosco reporting. CBS 6's investigative reporter Brianna Sapardi spoke with the children's father, Brady Harmon, today. As any parent would be, he's horrified, sickened knowing what his children went through.
On June 10th, Brady Harmon says he received a message from Sarah Myers saying the children were sick and couldn't talk.
We'll talk to you tomorrow at 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So that would have been June 11th. And I called, no response.
Little did he know his 4 children, Harper, Hudson, Gavin, and Joycelynn, were likely already dead.
The electronic evidence allowed investigators to reconstruct the murders as they unfolded on June 10.
Police Chief William Rabbit says Myers told the children's grandmother, Amy Stedman, to drug the children before their scheduled phone call with their father. He says evidence suggests the children were likely lethally drugged, with one child stabbed with a knife.
What's your reaction to hearing that happened, that they did that to your child?
How scared he was. They also told me that Gavin was the one that was stabbed, probably because he's probably the most defiant and like, hey, something's wrong.
Does that add a level of pain to you, knowing that your kids were aware of what was happening to them?
It does. To poison them and also to stab them. There's a special place in hell for people like that.
Harmon also pushed back on claims made in handwritten notes recovered by investigators, where Myers and Stedman wrote they were protecting the children from abuse.
What's your reaction to what was said in the note? Alleging all this abuse way to protect the children.
Yeah, it's a load of crap. I mean, you don't protect someone by harming someone.
I also asked Harmon how he felt knowing the 2 welfare checks he requested on June 13th and 17th failed to uncover the tragedy.
It wouldn't have mattered. My kids were already gone. My kids would be alive if Utah's court system didn't let her do what she did. My kids would be alive if CPS did their job.
That was Brianna Sapardi reporting. The Mechanicville tragedy is one of many cases that has lawmakers' attention where children have become victims. You may remember the death of Joycelynn in Corinth. She died of neglect. People have said her parents' sentence of 1 to 4 years in prison isn't enough, and now lawmakers are pushing for the passage of Joycelynn's law. CBS 6's Amanda Muhammad reports.
When you're full of lice, your teeth are rotted, you're not getting fed, you're getting medication, you're being tortured. You're being quieted in your torture. And I think for that, they're going to understand the fact we need a different continuum.
State officials gathered Tuesday morning at the Paul E. Lent Public Safety Facility in Ballston Spa to push for Joycelynn's law, a law that would increase penalties for aggravated endangerment of child welfare.
It rises to a level where when we looked at where the law currently stood in terms of penalties, it was just not sufficient to provide the appropriate range of options for the charging authorities.
The law is named after Joycelynn, a 3-year-old from Corinth who lost her life in February 2025 to severe child neglect. The Saratoga County Sheriff's Office says Joycelynn had an untreated lice infestation which developed into anemia, rotten black teeth, received no medical care for 10 months, and had unprescribed clonidine found in her system.
3-year-old Joycelynn should still be with us today. Instead, her death became a heartbreaking reminder that when our laws fail to hold the worst acts of child neglect accountable, we have an obligation to act.
Joycelynn's law would raise the penalty for criminally negligent homicide of a child from a Class E to a Class A1 felony, maximizing the prison sentence from 1 1/3 to 4 years to 25 years to life. For cases that don't result in death, the maximum sentence would be 5 to 15 years, a Class C felony.
We're not going to get the justice for Joycelynn, but the only good thing maybe is we can get some justice from some other children and possibly send a message to individuals who are going to provide this type of neglect, this type of terror, this type of trauma to young children.
That was Amanda Muhammad reporting. All of these